How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms and 6 eyes.
Is Floyd better than you?
We both here, standing on business with no fear. I mean that. It's the ring champs when the smoke clears.
What's going on, fight fans? It's your boy Ak.
And I'm Barak, the boxing bully.
And this is another episode of the Ring Champs. And today we have an interesting conversation. If you know us, you know Barak and I don't always agree on this topic. And it's going to be about Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. I don't know how he feels about it. We're gonna find out. He doesn't know how I feel about it. So,
one thing you do know is that I'm an incredible Floyd Mayweather fan.
Incredible, or more like his #1 fan? Like, there's no bigger fan. There's no bigger Floyd Mayweather fight fan.
I'm
like,
knowledgeable about Floyd.
Barak.
I don't know about
Best.
the biggest fan. I'm just a fan
Bro,
of his career.
I've watched you argue people down. Like, when this dude would be focused on something, he'll hear somebody half a mile away, Floyd isn't that good. What? And then he'll come and he'll chop somebody up because of that. Now,
I defend
so.
the truth.
Right.
That's why. Because there's a lot of things that people say about Floyd is just wrong. You know what I mean? And it's popular because this is how casual fans do. They hear a little narrative and they go with it. So I just defend the truth.
And they seem to have amnesia and forget. You're right in defending a guy that is arguably one of the best fighters of all time, right? But the people that beg to differ, right? Or guys that throw out guys like Sugar Ray Robinson or Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones, right? They also have arguments as to why.
100%.
Right? Legitimate arguments, right?
Right.
But I want this, you can call this a debate, this conversation to be about dominance in the ring consistently more than other fighters. Sugar Ray Robinson, phenomenal fighter. You know, we know that he won X amount of fights, lost one, and then won 70, 80 fights straight.
No, but
I get that.
Forget them jokers. Let's just deal with Bud.
Right. But what I'm saying, all of those guys were at one point in time on those runs in competitive fights where they lost rounds and almost lost fights. Outside of Roy Jones, I think Roy was the guy that had that dominant run where he was unbeatable,
Absolutely.
right? So, but everybody else were in fights. Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford, in my opinion, outside of one of Floyd's fights, and we all know this, the first Castillo fight, which was a competitive fight, and people felt that he could have lost that. Terence Crawford hasn't been in that type of fight.
I agree. See, and it's funny that you're saying that because that's exactly how I feel. I feel like Terence Crawford's really never been in a close fight. Now, Madrimov was his closest fight ever, but to me, it was a clear win for Bud. And he didn't struggle with Madrimov. He even hurt Madrimov. Now, you talk about Floyd. I also think that Floyd had a close fight with Oscar De La Hoya.
Of course, yes, I agree with that as well.
Very close fight with Oscar De La Hoya and Maidana. And everybody who usually when he has a close fight, when people say, "Oh, you might have lost that fight," he said, "Let's run it back."
Let's run it back. That's why you have to respect that.
I was there for that fight with Maidana, and I was like, Maidana kind of won.
Can you say Maidana? Can you say the way it's
Maidana?
Can you say Maidana, not Maidana?
Maidana.
Well, he's Argentinian, bro.
Maidana won at least 5 rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's saying a lot from a Floyd Mayweather #1 fan.
I was there. I was in attendance, and I was like, Floyd, what are you doing? Turn this up. But I do know that Floyd fought that way on purpose. The same way he fought Cotto. He fought that way on purpose, but he was fighting somebody that was biting him. He was fighting somebody that was throwing punches coming down. He was fighting somebody that was so unorthodox, it was just bugging him out. Right. Came back the second fight, he said, I'm just gonna box you and make this look easy. You know, so he did have those close fights.
This summer, the cup is taking over the U.S., and only DraftKings has you covered every step of the way. The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states, bringing the game straight to your fingertips wherever you are. From Florida to Texas to California, you're in on the excitement at the speed of sports. Follow every group stage upset, every knockout round thriller, and every stoppage time moment that flips the whole tournament. Sweat all the matches you love in real time with a seamless experience built for the world's biggest stage. No matter where you're watching, you're always connected and in the game with one app. And DraftKings has a great offer for all new customers. Spend just $5 and get $200 in rewards when you sign up using promo code ATSFights. That's right, new DraftKings customers. Sign up using code ATSFights. Just spend $5 and get $200 in rewards within 21 days. DraftKings, the crown is yours. I want to bring up age here because I think it plays a part in the money-making Floyd opposed to Pretty Boy Floyd. People always bring this argument up, but it's true. When he signed a 6-fight deal with Showtime, right, the $300 million 6-fight deal, first opponent was Robert Guerrero, who was 36 years old, right? That version of Floyd Mayweather, and even a couple fights before that, was a guy that wanted to coast and pot shot and win rounds, right? He didn't care about having fan-friendly wins or moments or finishing fights before the last round. It was obvious. He wasn't even at times sitting on a lot of those shots on those last few fights. And he was at an age that, in my opinion, in hindsight, it wasn't that old. 36 isn't old. And maybe because
Hold on.
Maybe
What are you
because
talking about?
Terence Crawford has proven,
That's one person.
has shown.
That's one person. Him and
Is that
Bernard
everyone?
Hopkins.
Okay.
Like, stop.
But, so
stop.
that's
36
enough.
36 is, what, you sound,
That's enough to,
Yo,
36
you sound crazy.
Is, 36
sound-
is 7 years away from 29, bro. Like, come on.
the wrong side of 29.
Hey,
it's the wrong side of 29.
A guy that supposedly
No. Stop.
never drank,
Stop.
didn't drink alcohol, didn't abuse his body.
Stop.
Right?
Muhammad-
so why does
Muhammad
he
Ali.
get a pass?
Muhammad Ali wasn't the same fighter at 36 that he was at 29.
Oh, you're talking about a heavyweight, bro. I'm taking heavyweight shots.
And you know what people say about heavyweights? That they last longer in the sport. That's what they say. That's what a lot of
Who
people say
says
that.
that?
A lot of people
All
say
right,
it.
all right.
You grew up in the sport.
Don't make it
hearing
right.
that.
Doesn't make it right.
That's a fact. I like that.
Doesn't make it
I
right.
like that. That's a fact. But what I'm saying is that 36 is old for every sport. Every sport in the world, 36 is old. Floyd and Bud are just phenomenal. They were at the top of the sport at that age. Now, Floyd had hand problems, so he had to switch up.
Okay.
Now, hold on.
Go with the
All right,
excuses.
right before that deal, 2012, he fought Cotto. Cotto was on the pound-for-pound list in 2011, so he fought him at a good time. Last round, he threw one combination, rocked Cotto. You know why? He said, I'm going to do it in the last round. I'm not going to do it these other rounds because I'm going to hurt my hand. 2013 come.
That sounds good after
2013 come.
But if he could have got Cotto out of there early.
That's what I'm saying. He's not saying that.
Oh, okay. That's what you think.
That's
your
wisdom.
assumption.
That's wisdom that I'm saying. That's my discernment. So he did that because he's not going to hurt his hand. So he beat Cotto. Then he goes and fight Guerrero. Guerrero was on the pound-for-pound list that same year. So this is the
look
thing.
that up.
You just
top 10?
No.
Top 10
You don't have to look it
no.
up. What you got to do is you got to listen to somebody.
I don't believe it.
Pound-for-pound list. Top 10. That's all there is a top 10, bro.
Yeah,
he was
Guerrero
on
wasn't in that pound.
that year. You just don't know.
No.
That year, Guerrero was on the pound-for-pound list. The only list that makes sense to me is the Ring magazine, first of all. So he was on a pound-for-pound list that year.
Oh, I don't know about you, but
back then,
pound for
come on,
pound
bro. We're talking about
something.
We're talking about 13 years ago.
So what?
Stop, bro.
The hell you talking about?
All right, so check it out. So it's not about how he won the fights, it is. Don't get me wrong, but it's also about who he beat.
Okay, I'm glad you brought.
Who he won against. So
I'm-
Guerrero was on the pound-for-pound list, and he bloodied him up.
Bro, I was at that fight as well. I didn't see any blood. But I'll say this.
What's wrong about the pound-for-pound?
I'm not wrong
now you
about
talking about
that.
the blood.
We'll find
He
out.
bloodied
And
his
if
face up.
you guys want to correct me in the comments, let me know
Love
if Guerrero
getting
was on a
corrected.
pound-for-pound list, because I doubt it. But I'm glad you brought up, it's about who they fought, right? So let's go to 38-year-old Floyd Mayweather fighting the fight of his career, so to speak, fighting another pound-for-pound guy.
But don't
hold on.
Don't do that, because you're going to compare one person to one person.
What's
Floyd
wrong?
has a resume.
No.
And listen,
No,
I'm
hold up.
I'm not saying anyone's better.
But hold up, I am. But hold up.
You're saying
hold
no.
up. Hold up. Let's finish this debate, and then I'll
Go ahead.
reveal who I think is better.
Go ahead.
But we're talking about 38-year-old Floyd Mayweather fighting Manny Pacquiao. Arguably one of the best fighters of all time. That was his fight, right? A smaller guy that was coming up from 106 pounds when he started his career. Won a lot of titles at 122, featherweight, and so on and so forth. We all saw what Manny Pacquiao eventually did. Terence Crawford at 38 years old.
Why did you just say much smaller guy? Why did you say that?
Because
Manny Pacquiao's one of the greatest of all time.
But he's a smaller, hold on.
Top 3.
Let me make my point. A smaller guy who started fighting at 106 pounds.
And stop De La Hoya.
All right, at 147.
And stop Cotto.
That doesn't take away the fact that he started at 106 pounds.
And destroyed Antonio Margarito.
Wow. A punching bag that throws punches.
But nobody else could do it like that.
But I'm not undermining Manny's accomplishments. I just said he's one of the greats. He still was smaller. He still was a smaller man. Right. Floyd, at 38, fought Manny Pacquiao, scared to death in that fight. And I'm not saying that sometimes you need fear in a fight. A guy that hits that hard.
What does that have to do with anything?
Hold on.
He won. 9 rounds to 3.
He won the fight. We all know that in a fight that had very little entertainment value to it.
What does that have to do with anything?
Bro, I'm not saying that means anything.
Okay.
But it wasn't a dominant performance.
9 rounds to 3 is dominant.
It was
9 rounds to 3 is
dominant to score.
9 rounds to 3, dominant.
How many punches landed?
He landed more punches, and he even threw more punches than the guy.
How many punches landed? If I look, I actually have those stats, but
let's see. Let me see your stats. Get your stats now. You're lying.
I'm gonna make my point.
You don't have the stats.
I'm gonna make my
point.
No, I'm not lying.
Get your stats.
I'm gonna bring it up. No,
let me see you get your stats.
This is my point, buddy.
You lied. Lie number 1.
Guess who? 38-year-old Terence Bud Crawford beat in dominant fashion. The face of boxing in Canelo Alvarez, who's younger than Bud, and he arguably went up 3 weight classes to fight the face of boxing and a man who's been dominant since Floyd exited the sport. And he beat him with a dominant performance. When you compare that age and the level of fight, because you have to compare that. You can say that Bud's fight was harder because he fought a bigger man who was younger than him, and he won up 3 weight classes, and Floyd fought, yes, a man that was 2 years younger than him, but coming up a weight class in 2 totally different fights. 2 totally different fights.
Why are you saying this like we arguing something?
I'm making my point.
What point?
That Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather. That's my point. That's what this conversation is about. And this is not saying that Floyd isn't great.
All right, so I sat down here to compare 2 great fighters. Two great fighters who probably all-time greats.
Okay.
2 of the best fighters in the world ever.
All right, there can only be one. There can only be one.
Right, but it's an opinion. I don't want to choose
What's
one.
your opinion?
I feel like this. I could tell you this, though.
You've said it before.
I could tell
out
you.
loud.
No. I feel like Terence is the best that I've ever seen. Yes, absolutely. But they both have things over each other. So listen to what I'm saying, because I've been saying that. I've been saying that for years and years, way before you or anybody else been saying that. Terence is the best I've ever seen. But Floyd has a different kind of resume. Floyd has the best resume. Terence...
The best?
Absolutely. I say Floyd has the best resume. But I would say Terence, the same thing he was doing at 28, he was doing at 38. Just as dominant, just as hitting hard, killing his opponents the same way.
You proving my point.
That's my point as well. That is my point as well.
But you're still admitting that Terence is better than Floyd.
I just said that he's the best I've ever seen.
But then you got to try to throw in
the best I've ever seen.
But Floyd has things that Bud doesn't have.
Because it's not like I'm a sucker. No, it's not that I'm trying to clean that up. I'm telling the truth, my man. You got to use wisdom in what you're saying.
Okay.
I think, because I'm the first one to say it, that Bud is the best I've ever seen. But Floyd's resume, just like Manny's resume, is incredible. Okay. So these guys' resumes are incredible. So just like Ray Robinson. So if somebody's bringing those guys up, I'm not arguing them. I'm not arguing them because I understand they're talking about resume and what they accomplished. Bud, because he was blacklisted for years, from 2018 all the way to 2023.
Which is not his fault.
Right. It's not his fault because he could have beat guys earlier and then probably won even 4 divisions undisputed. So yeah, then everybody would have been saying he's the greatest of all times. But because he was blacklisted those important prime years, he didn't get to have those many names.
Okay.
So that's all I'm saying
so
is
what-
that
all right.
it's not his fault that he doesn't have the names. But
Of
do I
course,
think
that's what I'm saying.
Bud is the best I've ever seen? Yes.
No, but why
But
do you have
I
to, why do you
understand
have to
argument,
frame it like that?
but I
Just say,
understand-
is Bud better than Floyd?
I think he is because
Okay.
he was able,
Thank you.
because he was able to do exactly what he did at an old age that he was able to do at a young age. But Floyd is amazing
Of
as
course,
well.
he's an incredible fighter, no question about it. Nobody's arguing that Floyd is amazing. But if those
Floyd
two
was
guys,
able to prove his how great he was by the opponents that he had.
okay, now
and that's what's important.
Now that's great, right? Resumes are great, and they don't win you. They don't win you fights.
Resume is the most important
No,
thing
no, no,
in
no,
boxing.
no, no.
Resume is the most important thing in boxing.
No. Resume
The
doesn't.
most
No, it's
important
not.
thing in
No, it's not. Because
What's more important
no,
than
it's
resume?
not. Because I'll tell you why. Because guys with resumes that are worse than the guys that have beaten guys with better resumes. So at the end of the day,
That's
a
not what we're
resume
talking
can't
about.
win you fights. A
My
resume
God,
can't
what is
win you
wrong with
fights.
you? That's not even what we're talking about. I'm talking about when you're judging who's the greatest. Resume is the most important thing. That's what I'm saying. What is more important than resume?
Okay, if the guys
Am I right or wrong?
Well,
Yes.
yeah, if the
Am
guy,
I right or
wait,
wrong?
if the guys aren't gonna fight each other, yes, that's the only way to kind of
We're
decipher
picking
that.
2 guys who obviously didn't fight each other.
Okay, but
So answer the question. Is resume the most important thing when you're judging?
of course, if
Then that's
guys
why,
from different eras.
then that's why when people say
Blacklisted.
Floyd is better, I understand.
All right, well-
because his resume is better.
But
he had the opportunity because he was the cash cow.
fine, but-
Everybody wanted to fight him.
fine, but there's so many fighters from so many different eras, and somebody is usually called the best, the greatest of an era, the greatest of all time, all that stuff. But I want to talk about a fantasy matchup, right? Because that's where this is leading to. You can say he's better, this guy's better, Floyd's better, but if these 2 guys fought each other and both at 38 years old, right?
8 years old?
Yes.
Why are we picking that year? Because
38 years
you
old.
picking that year because
38
Bud was
years
special
old.
at 38. Bud was
30
incredible still at 38 and still had power.
Both
good
guys,
hands,
both guys
everything.
don't drink. Both guys taking care of their body and were dedicated to boxing. So why shouldn't it be at 38?
Okay,
38 version of
that's
Floyd.
that's a good question.
38 version of Bud.
It's still,
Who wins
it's
the
still
fight?
a tough fight. I don't know. You know why? It's still a tough fight. Just because Bud was still able to crack the way he was able to crack when he was young, Floyd was still hard to hit. Understand that Floyd fought Berto at 38 years old.
But-
Wait, let me finish like I'll let you finish. Berto is extremely fast, probably faster than Floyd. Couldn't touch him. That's a 38-year-old Floyd. So just because Floyd ain't cracking the same way he was cracking when he was young, fighting Diego Corrales, don't mean he's not defensively sound and very hard to hit.
Has Floyd?
So even-
Can I ask you a question?
Even Bud would say that'll be a tough fight.
Of course.
He knows that.
Of course.
He said on our show, you need 6 arms or something like that to beat Floyd.
But
Or 4 arms to
could
beat
Floyd Mayweather? First off, I'll do you one better. Has Floyd Mayweather ever fought anybody, beat anybody with the IQ of Terence Crawford? Has he ever beat anybody that good? And don't
He's
say
never-
Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao's a phenomenal fighter and athlete and had power, but he made a lot of mistakes in the ring.
Yeah, I say Manny Pacquiao was the closest one, but no, because I said there's no one else like him. I'm saying there's no one else like him.
Right.
Just like Crawford has never beaten anybody like Floyd because there is no one like
All right,
him.
38-year-old,
That's what I'm saying.
38-year-old version of Floyd that fought Manny Pacquiao. Can that guy pot shot and outbox 38-year-old version of Terence Crawford?
I don't think so, but it's still gonna be a tough fight because Floyd is special, bro. Terence know that. Floyd is special. Don't get me wrong. I love Bud, and I think he's the best. But Floyd is still special, and he's gonna make it hard for everybody.
But those 2 guys fighting, because it's the only thing we can go off, same age, who they were
Where
at
would
that time in their
where would I
career.
put my money on?
Yes,
I don't bet, but I would put my money on
Terence
Terence Crawford.
Crawford.
Yeah,
All right,
obviously.
so there's no debate here. There's really no debate.
No, you was making it sound like a debate,
because of how big of a fan you are of Floyd Mayweather.
No, you know what it is? It's because you're not saying that you can't understand why other people say Floyd is the best, Robinson is the best, or Manny
No, I
Pacquiao
said
was
I
the
could
best.
understand
And
that.
I'm
I did
saying
say that.
You did not say that in
That
this
was
episode.
actually my statement.
You did not say
No,
that in this episode.
In this episode,
Those guys' resume. All I'm saying is those guys' resume.
I literally said the people that picked Robinson and Ali and Roy, they have arguments as to why. I literally said
That's
that.
not saying you respect the argument. You're just saying they have arguments.
That is saying it. I mean,
you was just arguing me. I said resume is the most important.
I understand why they say what they say.
We're only giving our opinions,
Right.
but resume is the most important.
All right. So are you backpedaling that?
I'm saying the same thing.
Are you backpedaling on Bud being better than Floyd because Floyd had a better resume?
I say that I think just because I think he's best doesn't mean that I could say, okay, definitively he's the best because of his resume.
No, we're not talking about.
Can't.
We're not.
But resume is important.
It's important, but you can still sit here and say, as hard as it is for you,
I already said
it's so difficult because your stomach hurts right now, and he's gonna go home sick because he said it on camera that Bud is better than Floyd.
But I've been saying it on camera, bro.
No.
I've been saying it.
I haven't.
I've been saying. I'm the first one to ever say it.
Must be on somebody else's show.
I'm the first one to ever say it.
Look, we were both saying that Bud is great, but the Floyd conversation is something that has been happening.
I hate that we have it because they both great, but it can only be one best. But then again, it's all just opinion.
So my opinion, as great as Floyd was, if they had fought that 38-year-old, both.
So what if they would have fought at 29?
All right, now you want to try to switch things up.
Are you running from that?
I'm not running. I'm not running from it. I think
your voice changed.
No,
your voice changed.
No,
it cracked a little bit.
No. What I'm saying is,
see a little chink in his armor. I get it.
No.
29-year-old. What's taking you so long to answer this? 29-year-old. It's hard. It's hard for him. 29-year-old Floyd. Because you love 29-year-old Floyd.
Floyd was a lot different at 29, right? And Bud hadn't developed to the fighter that he become. He wasn't who he is today.
So Floyd's better than Bud?
No, I'm not saying that.
At 29. At 29.
I'm not saying that.
At 29.
The reason why I want to keep it at 38, can I say that?
No, we're finished with that.
No, we're not finished with that.
There's nobody in the world.
No.
Wait. There's nobody in the history like Bud at 38.
All right, I know,
nobody,
but the reason why I have
29,
the reason why I want to keep it at 38 is because this is the measuring stick is they fought the toughest fighters in their careers at that age.
That's not true. He fought Diego Corrales.
He wasn't better than Manny Pacquiao?
Nobody is better than Manny Pacquiao.
Right.
But
so that was the best fight he's ever fought.
That was at 36.
But that was the best fight he's ever fought.
But Manny Pacquiao wasn't even in his prime.
No, that was at 38.
And Floyd wasn't
That was at
38. Manny Pacquiao wasn't in his prime and Floyd wasn't in his prime. That's not even good enough.
He was younger. He was younger than him.
It wasn't in his prime.
But why wasn't he in his prime? He was still considered great.
Neither one of them was in their prime.
Pacquiao was still great.
They're both still great, but not prime. Do you understand that? Do you understand?
Is Manny Pacquiao Floyd's biggest win? Is that his best opponent that he's ever faced?
Absolutely.
Okay.
These are all-time greats.
So who is Bud's best opponent he's ever beaten?
Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez, my point. Both guys, same age, fighting their biggest opponent of their careers. That's how you got to measure that.
That's so stupid, first of all. Now,
God.
Because you don't get to say, oh, I only want to measure at 38 years old. You sound so dumb. Listen.
Then you say resume matters?
Listen.
Then you say resume matters? This is resume.
You got to let me finish now.
It's resume.
And obviously Floyd's resume is better, so you sound ridiculous.
Man, we're talking about one fight.
Listen, that's not resume then, one fight. 29-year-old Floyd, 29-year-old Terence Crawford, who do you think
and be a competitive fight.
No, same thing I said,
be a competitive fight.
Now you're saying the same thing I said,
No, because
but you said I was better. Wait.
You said I was backpedaling. I brought up an age, and then you wanted to switch it up and
better,
go to a younger age.
I said, but who's better? I'm still asking you who's better.
Terence Crawford.
At 29.
Yes.
You lied.
Because
you just lied. You know why?
No.
You know, wait. You know why you lied?
Because Terence Crawford.
Because you said,
both ways.
You just said Floyd was a different animal.
Right.
And then you said Terence Crawford wasn't developed at that age yet.
He wasn't the best version of himself, but he's still great.
I think he was.
Still great.
I think he was.
That's why I still say he beats Floyd at 29 because
you just ran
Hold up. Two reasons. Punching power, switch hitter. Floyd never dealt with anybody.
Floyd had power back then.
Fine.
Floyd had power back then.
That level of punching power and being able to do it from different angles, I think that it would have been too much for Floyd.
I think that's a
great
tough fight. I think that's a tough fight.
All right, but it's safe to say
I don't know about that one.
at 38, you're not going against Bud against.
Come on, that's obvious. That's obvious.
All right.
Special.
So the debate is done here. And for those out here who
What
disagree
was the
with
debate,
me,
first of all?
what
was the debate?
The debate was, well, I would say it wasn't a debate. It was a challenge to get Barak here to admit that Floyd isn't the greatest of all time anymore to you.
I don't say that. I can't say that.
You said he was the best ever so many years for so many years.
No, I know
Nobody's better than Floyd.
I always said that.
Now it's different.
But wait a minute. Years ago, I said Terence is the best I've ever seen, but he just doesn't have the resume for me to stand on that, for me to prove it.
All right, now he does.
So that was before he fought Sean Porter. Then he fought Sean Porter. That was before he fought Spence. He fought Spence, fought Majimov, fought Canelo. His resume's better, but Floyd got a long 23 champion resume.
Great resume. That's why he's in the conversation.
So it's hard to compare
That's why he's in the
those two like
conversation.
that. It's hard to compare because you
sometimes
gotta
you only
compare
have to,
by resume.
Sometimes if you're having a certain conversation, you have to pick one person, and that's what this is about. Obviously, the challenge.
I pick Bud.
I was successful in pulling that out of you. I know you said it before, but you've never in one conversation said that. I've never heard you say in a public forum that Floyd Mayweather isn't as good as Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is better than Floyd. You've never said that. And we never even talked about a fantasy fight. First time you saying that Bud will beat Floyd Mayweather.
At 38 years old.
Right, at 38. But Floyd would be 38
years
too.
old. I don't know about 29, 29.
It was a fun little conversation and debate. You know, maybe fight fans will give their opinions on it. I stand by this. As great as Floyd is, I stand by this. Floyd wouldn't beat Bud, and Bud is overall better than Floyd Mayweather. That's my opinion. Now, I want to give Floyd his credit for dominating throughout his career as well, even though he had a couple of close fights, that's the difference maker for me. One of the big difference makers. Bud hasn't had close fights.
He hasn't fought 23 champions neither though, so Floyd's gonna always have an argument because Floyd did what no one else done. You know what I'm saying? So Floyd is gonna always have an argument. So I don't even know why we had to even debate this. This is crazy.
Let's talk about
great fighters like that.
Let's talk about this. I remember, it's so crazy that I remember you and I having a conversation before Terence Crawford even made the fight with Canelo Alvarez. In fact, you and I were in the dressing room of Shakur Stevenson fighting in Newark Prudential Center. Bud was in there. SOG was in there. We were all talking, and I remember him saying to us, I ain't fighting Canelo. That dude big, bro. That dude big.
Was that when he said that?
Yes, that's when he said that because I was there. We were there talking to him. And then when you and I left, I don't know if it was that day or late, a few days after, we said, listen, if he were to do that, right, we would have to call this guy the best ever, even better than Floyd, if he goes and really conquers that task. So he actually did it, right? Which is
Crazy.
nuts.
Crazy.
He actually did it, and then did it in a fashion that there were a lot of people out there saying that Bud was going to get knocked out by Canelo Alvarez.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were actually saying that he's too small. He's going to get knocked out.
Yeah,
we didn't believe that, right?
No.
So he decides to retire. But that Canelo Alvarez fight almost made you feel, at least me, that is there anything that Bud can't do? Like it almost made him feel invincible to some degree where, can this guy really go up and fight another big name? Like even people wrestled with the idea of Benavidez because how can this dude do what he just did? How can he dominate Errol Spence, the guy that was reigning at 147, and then go up with another title at 54, and then jump up arguably 3 weight classes? He had a pit stop at 154 to beat. Then you start to think like, what can't this guy do, right? So if he didn't decide to retire like he did differently, could we even see Bud elevate even more as far as the greatest of all time and have few, or would it be too risky and damage his legacy?
Well, we could say both of those things, but the man is 38, gonna be 39 this year. You don't wanna do that to your body. That's how I feel. I feel like he's been training his whole life. You don't wanna take those kind of risks at that kind of age, but he's probably proven that he is so special that he probably could have added more to his legacy.
Probably.
He could, if he decided to go down to 160, probably could have took some straps down there too.
Right.
Or if he even went crazy back down to 154 and took some straps down there too.
But it wouldn't have been names.
No, see, that's the thing. There was nobody else.
Right.
Like the last thing I spoke to him was, I said, I'm gonna miss you when you're gone. That's before I knew he was gonna retire. I said, I'm gonna miss you when you're gone. And I said, I guess there's no other real names that get you excited. Because when you done skipped everybody and went to Canelo, in a weight class you probably shouldn't have been in, but then again, Canelo's not a real 168-pound fighter. Who do you go to then? I wanted to see him fight Charlo years prior.
Right.
You know, Jamel Charlo.
Fight doesn't excite you anymore because
no, of course not.
he would be such a heavy favorite against anybody
Yeah,
at 160.
But before Canelo, I wanted to see him fight Charlo and see how he could do against those kind of guys. You know, but of course he probably could have done more because he's that anomaly where you could take a year off and still come.
Right.
When do we ever say he got ring rust? It doesn't exist with him.
Yeah.
He stays in the gym. It does not exist with him. He is not going in that ring, not 100%.
And that's why I agree with you. I think it was a perfect decision in as far as legacy, right?
Well, retiring right
you're
now.
retiring right now.
Yeah.
If there's a big money fight down the line that even further secure his wealth for his family, like another $100 million against somebody, then yeah, you could understand where I'm gonna come back for this, right? Right. I mean, who knows? I'm just saying hypothetically, if there was an offer from a Turkey Al-Sheikh or somebody else, right? Yo, we want to see you come back one more time, right? Just a showcase. You're that great, and we're gonna invest this much money into seeing you again. That would make sense. But in terms of beating another big name to further your legacy and the conversation of you being the greatest, there aren't any more names for that, right? You can't. Where do you go from Canelo Alvarez?
Well, here's the thing. There's no more names, but there's accolades he could have. Now, it's
but
just
they won't have the same effect.
I get it, but it does help you with your resume as far as your accolades. You know what I mean? So let's just say if one fighter had all of the belts at 154, or one fighter had all of the belts at 160, because Bud is 39 years old this year, and he was able to beat a 160-pound fighter and then become undisputed in a 4th weight division.
Looks good on the resume.
That's crazy.
But what do people remember most?
Names, obviously.
Who you fought?
No, not necessarily.
Who you beat?
Well, yes, in the moment. But also, people talk about Sugar Ray Robinson and ain't never seen one fight.
Right.
Because they're looking at the record.
Right.
They've never seen one fight. Most people on earth never
These are guys that didn't live
and watched
in that
one
era.
fight.
But when you talk about us being fight fans since we were little kids and we think about all the fights that we watch, all the fighters we watch, we think about who they beat. Yeah. We think about, who Mike Tyson beat first to win the heavyweight title at 20 years old. Trevor Burbick knocks him out. We talk about Mike Tyson beating Spinks in Atlantic City, knocking him out in 96 seconds, right? We remember those names. We remember Chavez Sr. beating Meldrick Taylor in the last 2 seconds
that
of the
one
round.
I put out of my memory.
Right?
I don't remember that one.
So we remember fights with names, right? That's what, fans carry in their minds, if they don't just listen to what people say about guys like Sugar Ray and Jack Dempsey and Jack Johnson and Joe Louis and all of that. So I agree with you. So I think that Bud has done he's made the perfect decision as of now in retiring. And
it is the perfect retirement. Like Andre Ward did it well,
right?
Because it was after Kovalev, and he went after the beast. He cleared out 168, went up and got the beast at 175, and Adonis Stevenson, guys like that, didn't want to fight Kovalev.
And at a young age, Dre did it at a young age.
Dre did it nice. Floyd did it very nice as well. But
Floyd did it with Conor McGregor.
No. We don't count that. We don't have to count that.
But it's still on this box.
But we don't have to count that. But he did it in 2015 with Berto. What I'm just saying is that Floyd fought a million names and then left.
All right, but
what I'm saying is on his own terms.
No disrespect to Berto, but I mean, he had just beat Manny Pacquiao.
You're not understanding what I'm saying, though. Yeah. What I'm saying is that Floyd left on his own terms after beating everyone. That's all I'm saying. And that's what Ward did too, and that's what Bud did too, but it just so happens to be that his last fight was his best. Right. Just like Ward. His last fight was his best.
Well, look, at the end of the day, we're giving Terence Crawford his flowers, as we've been doing it throughout his whole career. We would love to hear from all of you fight fans on if you do agree with us in saying that Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather, and Terence Crawford would have beaten Floyd Mayweather if they were both at their 38-year-old version. That's it. That's the debate. That's the show.
Who brings up 38-year-old? Who wants to see two 38-year-old fights,
What?
first of all?
Those two guys? Everybody would want to see.
That's ridiculous.
Right? That's the show. Peace and love. Stay safe. We're out of here.